Welcome back, Bannock folks. You're tuned into another episode of Bannockdotes, a podcast that's holding it down for the underground sound here in Ontario, Canada. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, give this video a like, and of course, leave a comment down below. Whether you like the video, you don't like the video, some guests you want to see on the show, some questions you want to hear, all that fun stuff down below in the comment section. And of course, if you aren't already, follow us on the social medias. That's Bannockdotes, BANDECDOTES. You can find us on our Instagram and our TikTok channel. We're doing TikTok channels. It's just mainly the clips that are getting posted. A lot of the stuff is happening on our Instagram. I know that's probably pretty old age myself because, you know, there's like, I feel like if there's a certain app that you use, it determines your age group, right? If you're a Facebooker, you're probably a little bit older. If you're a TikToker, you're probably a little bit younger. And if you're an Instagram user, and you're probably somewhere in between. Twitter, it's an all-out war. And same with Reddit, I suppose. I'm just messing around, folks. So just follow us there on the social medias and do your due diligence and tell a friend about the show. Tell them, hey, I checked out this cool podcast with this really rad dude wearing a really rad hat, and he interviews really rad bands. Do that. Tell your friend that. That'd be great. All right, let's jump into it. Local Ontario shows happening in the month of October. And if you aren't already, folks, me and Rob Reed of Not Just a Phase podcast have started an Instagram page where we're just posting as many flyers as we can. That's just at Ontario X Hardcore. Send in your flyer. It's real simple. This way we can just kind of hone in and try and keep up with the stuff that's happening in this friggin' province, because it seems so hard to there's so many people. So and so played the other day, so and so, and I hear another person go, "Look, I didn't even see that advertised," and it's just, we're just trying to make sure that everyone knows that there's lots of cool shows happening in Ontario, especially Southern Ontario. In my hometown of Niagara, in the Hamilton, all that stuff. Let's jump into the show. Blissfields and Keep are playing a couple shows together. Friday, October 14th in Toronto at Toronto Style Bar. Saturday, October 15th in Montreal at Turbo House. And Sunday, October 16th in Brooklyn at St. Vitus. Juice and Total Silence are also playing a couple shows that weekend. In Friday, October 14th, they're in Hamilton at the Doors Pub. Saturday, October 15th in Montreal at Hemisphere Gouache. And Sunday, October 16th in Toronto at Seascape. Rest Easy and with Instep are playing shows that weekend as well. Friday, October 14th in Toronto at the Bovine. Saturday, October 15th in Montreal at Hemisphere Gouache. Sunday, October 16th in Ottawa at the Dominion Tavern. Make sure you go out to those shows. Friday, October 14th in Toronto, however, at the Garrison, we have New Friends DIY presents Respire with Mark Bugelager of Massanera, Terry Green, Basque, and Treehouse of Horror. Also in Toronto that night at the Hard Luck, we have the Casualties playing with Dead Wolf, Choices Made, and The Slime. Saturday, October 15th in Hamilton at the Doors Pub, Steel City Hardcore presents Rust with Gavel, Die Alone, Shut Away, Entice, Just Right, and Spirit of Vengeance. That's going to be a rad show. Make sure you go out to that. October 21st, Friday, in Toronto at the Linsmore Tavern, Night Feeder. We're playing with Absolute Dioxide, Spearhead, and Fertilizer. In Toronto that night at the Handlebar, however, Tossed Aside are playing with Grishka, Botlam, Acid Shower, and Dayslager. Saturday, October 22nd in Kitchener at the Study Room, we have Stagnants playing with Quinton, Barnes, and T-Dun. Friday, October 28th in Toronto at the Bovine. We have the almighty Trigger Happy playing with Fully Crazed and the Holdouts. Saturday, October 22nd in St. Catharines at the Warehouse, we have the 3rd annual Distorted Roots. That's right, Chris Chapp of Eaten by Sharks has been putting these on for quite a while now, and this is a crazy lineup. We've got First Fragment, we've got Eaten by Sharks, you got my band, Sinner AD, we're playing. We've got APOC playing, we got Sunnyside, Mindswell, Us Alike. Dude, it doesn't get much better than this. You need to grab your tickets right away while you can before this bad boy sells out. Because last time Eaten by Sharks played the local show, it was a packed show, let me tell you that. So make sure you head on to NiagaraWarehouse.com, grab your tickets before they sell out, or if you want to do yourself a favor and help out some of the local bands, check out, just approach one of the band members and they'll sell you a ticket themselves, because that's how we doing it. The old school style, slinging tickets. You know how it be. All right, folks, let's get into my episode. This week, I have all of Astral Witch on the podcast, which was a ton of fun. We hung out together. We get talking about all sorts of really fun stuff. And yeah, I just had such a good time with these folks. I've had Alyssa on the show before we started doing video stuff. Briefly mention it there. And this was actually the first time we got to meet in person, because it was all over Zoom before. And so finally got to have a conversation in person together as well with her bandmates, and got to catch up. And yeah, we had such a great time together. Let's jump right into the episode, folks. Here you go. Right on. Welcome back, Bannock folks. You're tuned in to another episode of Bannockdotes, a podcast that holds it down for the underground sound here in Ontario, Canada. I'm your host, Phil Paxton, and I'm here with Astral Witch. You guys want to introduce yourselves and what you do in the band?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Alyssa. I do vocals and guitar.
I'm John, vocals and bass.
And I'm Jen, drums, some backup vocals.
Nice. And you've been on the show before, right? When we were just doing the audio podcast, but we're finally here in person. This is actually the first time I've ever met you, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice to meet you, folks, right? Yeah. No, yeah, and we had you on the podcast last, I think it was about last year or so.
It was last year.
Yeah.
I remember it was cold out, and I remember being freezing in the room that I was set up while we were talking. I'm pretty sure, anyway. I don't know. My memory is
now it's a little uncomfortably warm in this room.
It's September, and it's 29 degrees.
I know. What's with that,
So hot out.
Gotta complain. I gotta complain.
Yeah.
And look, we
I know,
wear all
right?
black all the time, so.
So where I left off with you last time, you folks you were talking about how you guys released a record in 2018,
Yes.
right?
So CD came out 2018, and
Yeah.
then we reissued it on vinyl in 2019.
Exciting. How did that sell?
Pretty great. I think we have maybe like a dozen copies left.
Nice.
And it's limited issue.
Now
Like
they're
it's
limited
not.
edition.
It's not getting pressed again.
No, absolutely not. Like that's it. But it sold really well. We got tons of positive feedback. Like pretty sure like Doom charts, we got a little bit up there. There was a couple other people that reviewed the album, had some really great feedback. And since then, we've just spent our time growing as musicians, I guess.
Right on. Because I suppose the pandemic happened right since then.
Boo.
But have you guys been like writing any new material? Have you guys been focused on a new release at all? What's in the works?
Big time. It's been slow and kind of steady for us, but yeah, we're really getting into it now. I mean, we've all kind of had our reasons to not, like the pandemic and whatever stuff has happened, but now we're really kind of coming together and writing a lot, so it's really exciting.
I think the goal is now to not play a show until we have an entirely new set.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's
cool.
Yeah.
We're very focused on that, yeah.
That's always the new goal as a band, right? Trying to get
Yeah.
rid of the old set and be like, all right, we got to do the new one.
Yeah.
What can we do? What can we add? What can we take out?
Yeah.
What can we make? Yeah, that's always a fun part of playing in a band, but it could be tedious at times, right?
Sure.
The pandemic made it especially challenging because like we would get one show, it felt like a year whenever it'd be like, oh, we're gonna no lockdowns, show is okay, whatever, and then we'd be like, fuck, we have to relearn our whole set now. And the time we would have liked to spend writing, we were just like, how do we play our songs again?
Yeah.
But it is a lot like getting on a bike too, so it's
first couple times you jam them again, you're like, oh yeah, and then you're like, oh, but we could add this cool new thing. We're like, no, save it for the next album.
Exactly.
You could totally, we can take it. Everything's in the same freaking key anyway. It doesn't matter.
I know the songs sound so different now when we play them live compared to the album, right?
Yeah.
We've played them so many times.
Just because they've kind of
and
like
they've
evolved.
developed, like,
in their
right? They sound great when we
nuances.
play them live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super cool. It's super cool, and it's funny that you mentioned that because like even my band over the pandemic, we also were like, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna write.
Yeah.
We're gonna write a whole record.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do everything. And like, what? How long has it been since that? It's like 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
Almost like,
Yeah.
like we just started writing new music, and like just because we as a band, we tried to do like the whole Guitar Pro thing,
Yeah.
write things online, send it to each other back
Exactly.
and forth.
Yeah.
And it works for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't work for us.
Yeah.
We are a band that needs to be in the same room with each other, jamming with each other,
Sure.
feeling each other's vibes,
Yeah.
coming with ideas up on the fly. Like
Yeah.
we can't we can't write like that. So once we started finally doing that, things started coming together, and looking back on the pandemic, we're like, oh, we could have written a record, but it probably would have felt forced and maybe
Yeah.
not nearly as
Yeah.
natural sounding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's absolutely for sure. The organic kind of grassroots, I think, is where we excel too. Because we've tried the same thing, Guitar Pro, and sending
Yeah.
each other tracks or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, even just some riff ideas, that does help. It kind of gets the ball rolling. So when we do meet up, it's like, oh, what was that
Yeah.
lick? What
Yeah.
was that lick
Yeah.
again, right? But we have been trying to get in the process of recording our jams so we can listen back and being like, oh, okay, ooh, we like that.
Yeah,
that
what
was
did I
pretty
do
cool.
there? Yeah, let's play that back.
Exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
Is there anything so how long have you guys been a band for?
Oh, we just celebrated our 7th year anniversary.
7 years.
7 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And like, have you guys just have that one record out as the release?
Our average is about a song a year if you do the math.
Nice.
If we put out a new album, we'll double that. So 2 songs a year. If you get another album out by next year. So
Yeah, I
just
mean,
thinking about that on the trip.
were you really? So, because originally Astral Witch was a 2-piece, right? It was the
That's
other
right.
Alyssa and I. So we did have an EP that came out, and then Astral Witch, in its current incarnation, has recorded an EP as well, which had at least a couple of different tracks that weren't on the full length that we released in 2018. So there's some tracks out there, and then there was a comp
Yeah.
that we were on. Some things
That
that
had
are
a new
kind of
song that wasn't on our album, so that, you know.
yeah, there's things in the ether that, you know, might be a little bit challenging to find, but that adds to our allure. I'm
Oh, there you go.
sure.
Nice,
Yes.
nice. Now, being a band for like 7 years, I find even just with my band, after you've done like something like a big release, like we really worked hard on a full length, it's like, gotta ask yourself, where do you go from there? What do you guys add to, or what do you guys are going into writing new material? Is there anything that you guys want to do? Is there new things you want to do, new elements? Is there just what goes into writing a new Astral Witch song?
Who wants to answer
So
this
isn't
one?
that the question?
Yeah. I think we're still trying to figure that out.
Sure, yeah, 'cause it's tough, right?
Right? Yeah. And it's evolving all the time, too. Right? We have our own influences that we bring together,
Yeah.
which has always, like, jived really well.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's like gathering information is like doing research too, like going out and seeing bands and listening to new music and being inspired, and then kind of coming together and showing what you've gathered, you know, and I don't know, kind of coming up with your own thing, and
Putting your own spin on
you know,
it.
a few beers in between, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
a few. I think, you know what, like, we could just listen to 70s stoner rock and the grandfathers of doom and just become a Sabbath worship band, right? But we don't want to do that.
no.
No, I'm just kidding.
And why not? No.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think we definitely taking some influences from our own personal experiences. We definitely do play up some of the satanic worship and creepy, spooky, scary things.
Nice.
So a lot of our lyrical content, at the very least, has some scary, evil, romantic kind of themes to it.
Love
I
that.
think we're trying to scare ourselves.
Yeah, we're trying to scare ourselves. Ooh.
Has there been any bands within the last couple of years that like have maybe influenced you on some new music? Has there been anything that has come out since the release that
Yeah.
like maybe that like you would like to hear in your own songs?
Yes, Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. I love Uncle Acid. I think the very like kind of monotone, low vocals, because I tend to be John has a lot of power behind his voice, and I think that we need to kind of like harness it for the satanic worship. But Yeah, I don't know. Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. I'm really into Ox, which is a local band
cool.
from Barrie. They just put out a new album. What's it called? Heavy on the Cosmic. Very good.
Yeah, incredible
Very,
album.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They have it available on cassette and vinyl now, I think.
Exactly.
Is the vinyl out yet?
It is.
Coming out.
No, it's a pre-order.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is there any for you folks or?
I really like Dead Quiet from British Columbia.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, they're like the spiritual successor to Barnburner, I guess.
Yep.
Which is a band I really liked when I was younger, and we got a chance to open for them a couple years ago at the St. Hollywood RIP, and yeah, they just blew me away. They have such a cool heavy sound and like full-time organ going on
Yeah,
too, and
they're a cool band.
I really like their newest album they just put out. It's really good, and Moon Cruiser was the one before that, I think. I really like that album.
I've seen those folks play in St. Catharines in a basement. Do you folks remember like the Temple Bones' place? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've definitely seen Dead Quiet there.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that venue.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure of it.
Huh. Yeah, we played there. That was fun.
I don't remember that show.
What? With Wild Creature?
With Vile Creature and that.
Oh, Shannon, I'm wearing Vile Creature shorts.
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
are
I love
sick.
the shorts.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
This I love unique merch. Like
Yeah.
things
They-
that are
they
just like
crush the
because
merch
typically you don't kind of see this thing, especially for like the doom kind of stoner.
Yeah.
Maybe some hardcore bands like Rocks and Cool.
I think that
Shorts
was
and
the
stuff.
idea. It was like they were poking fun at the hardcore.
Yes.
You know, KW always having fun with
So
merch,
sassy.
right? You know. So yeah. One band that I've really been into the last couple of years, especially in that doom genre, was. Have you ever heard of Doom's Children? Wade's new band from Lex on Fire.
No, I've heard of them, but I haven't actually.
It's
listened to
really
them.
cool. It's best way to describe it because he's got such a raspy voice, kind of like Chuck Reagan meets like Grateful Dead kind of vibe. So
Whoa,
really like
Psych.
psych, but like still very heavy and like really cool. Yeah. That's been something that I've been jamming with in the last
Right
couple of
on.
years.
Definitely need to check that out.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Has there been any Ontario bands specifically that you guys have been jamming? Like I know you mentioned Ox.
Yeah, love Ox.
Witch Rot.
Oh,
Witch
cool.
Rot.
Witch
Yeah, there
Rot's
you go.
fantastic. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm
incredible
familiar with
live.
Witch Rot. Where are they from?
Toronto. I
Oh,
believe.
cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
but
Nice.
they're phenomenal live. Like,
Yeah.
they're a great live band. Incredible sound.
Yeah. Female fronted, of course. So
Right on.
we love to get that estrogen power.
Yeah, I hate using that word though. Female fronted.
Yeah.
If it's a genre, it's bullshit.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because this is like it already gets people into this scope where like, oh, it's a female,
girl band.
Yeah, it's a
Girl
girl.
band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I don't mean to like come at you for for saying that, but like, it's one thing that I avoid using just because.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but they're like a doom heavy band kind of.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, doom, psych elements for sure. Some pretty cool, very powerful presence on stage anyway, and that's just I don't when it comes to female fronted, I could go on my soapbox here
Don't
and
say that.
Yeah.
canceled. When it comes to female fronted, of course, it could be like, yeah, female fronted bands or whatever. But I do think it's important to focus on the emphasis of the fact that something about the doom, stoner rock, fuzz culture, like the band, especially in Southern Ontario, it's very encouraging for women to be a part of the scene. So having an emphasis on that, non-binary, queer, and women, like this is huge. It's a huge part of the scene.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been very supportive, I find, as well. Like,
Absolutely.
I've played in punk bands, I've played in all different genres, whatever, and it's like, I don't know, something about Doom fans are just like more supportive, more on the ball, or just like progressive, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
It's like, this is all stupid, like, let's carry on here.
Exactly.
We want to hear good music.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah. Why do you think that is just within that doom genre? Because I know sometimes when you get into like more metal and more like, I don't know, power rock and stuff like that, they can kind of stray away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just maybe just like.
I don't know if it's one thing even really, right? It's probably
Sure.
a bunch of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
I feel, like hardcore metal typically is a boys' club, right? I always think of like the no clit in the pit kind of thing,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, how many times I've been treated like an asshole
Ugh.
going to a metal show or playing in even like more metal kind of focused
Yeah.
bands or like gigs and things like that, and it's you're treated differently.
Mhm.
There's the
Women are
inclusivity
seen
isn't
differently. Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
For
It's-
sure.
You can feel it, you can see it. Women are seen differently, kind of, more of there as their boyfriend's like little entourage or something, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Sucks,
they're
yeah.
in the
not the
bands?
musician for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I just think maybe in the genre of like stoner rock, stoner metal and stuff, is like there's probably a million bands of just dudes that look like me, and there's just like four Johns carbon copied, and everyone going, and it's kind of like it's boring. But when you add like the feminine element to a lot of these bands, it just adds something. It's a different texture, it's a different sound. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you
think
want to
it's
appeal
really
to everyone, like, duh.
Yeah,
Like, why wouldn't you want to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
For
the more inclusive you can make the scene, the more refreshing the
Absolutely.
sounds will be, and the less
Love to hear that.
tired it'll get.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Now, I'm noticing in Hamilton that we're only gotten so many venues left. You just mentioned this ain't Hollywood's not around anymore,
Yeah.
right? The Absinthe, I don't think, is doing shows at the moment. I don't know if they plan on reopening. But, like, what do we got left?
The
we
Doors.
Got the Doors, right?
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the
Casbah.
almighty place, right?
Mhm.
I love the Doors. The
Me
Doors
too.
is
For
such a
sure.
cool venue.
Yeah.
You go in there and pack it in with, like, 30 people, and it looks packed.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
And the energy.
Hot and sweaty and, like...
You think it's
If you
gonna
get
cave in.
36 people in that place,
Oh
it's
man,
wild. You feel that
36.
place shaking.
Ooh,
Like
you're
a,
pushing numbers
that's
there.
a sweet
Absolutely.
spot.
That's the sweet spot.
Yeah.
If you can get that extra 6 in there.
I would like to see more venues in Hamilton, though. I would like.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah.
also the Kill Room.
I was
Have you
gonna
folks?
say,
Have
yeah.
you folks been to the Kill
No.
Room?
I have no.
It's an interesting
Yeah,
place.
I've
It's
heard
straight up
all
just
about
like a
it, but-
skate ramp. And like they
Yeah.
just throw the bands like right. Oh, there you go. And then like everyone's
Very
kind of like.
cool.
It reminds me of like an old
That
80s
place
movie.
in Montreal.
Sick.
What was it? What was it called? The TRH bar? Yeah, Trash bar. Yeah.
I've played there
Like that.
before
Yeah,
too.
I played there too.
With my band Helvet. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Is that still a place? Do you know if it is?
I don't know. I was
Oh.
there just before the pandemic, and I was there. I
Nice.
was there at that time, but
That
yeah,
was
since
with
then I don't know.
Pennychrist?
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys had
I
played.
was there before the pandemic just to hang out. Like, wasn't there,
okay,
but
okay.
I have played there with Pennychrist. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Now, you folks said you were working on a new set. Is there any plans for you to like play like and do some like touring outside of that after you've figured out a new set, or is it right into the studio?
So definitely, oh man. So we're like writing right now is our main goal,
Mhm.
and then get the album recorded. You know, do some of our promo and press, because of course before you actually release the album, there's a lot of stuff in the works.
Yep.
That you know this, right?
Song titles, artwork,
All of
all
that.
stuff.
Releasing it, getting everything, all the promotion, kind of depending. Especially when you're a DIY band, you're
Yeah.
not like signed to anybody. There's a lot of work involved.
Yeah, I didn't know this, but when we put out our last album, it was like we were just finishing it up, and I started sending it to like blogs and like websites to review it and stuff like that. And I got a lot of emails back and like, oh, you're supposed to do this like 3 months ago. Like, if you want to, there's like a whole process and stuff. And I was just like, oh, first real album or whatever, I'll just send it out there. But yeah,
Well, yeah.
there's a ton of like stuff, like
Yeah.
administrative work. I'd
Yeah.
Lots of
almost say.
hoops to jump through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then hopefully, I mean, it would be really great to do a Canadian-wide tour, you know, because I don't really want to go to the States right now.
Yeah. No, I'm totally there.
Why
with
not?
you.
Very
I'm just-
clear.
Yeah.
Is there something going on?
What's
now?
going on there?
Something going on
They're
there?
all pretty good
It's
people.
a
there.
shithole.
Yeah. It sucks because this almost comes up every time with a band. Like, touring the States is like, you know, there's so many major cities in between, so you can make it happen. With Canada, that's not really the case.
Yeah.
However, is it worth all the bullshit with all the visas and
visas,
shit that you
yeah.
got to do?
Yeah.
And then B, you're in the States, like the
Yeah.
fucking one of the world's shittiest places right now,
Right.
right? And you got to deal with that. So like,
Yeah.
I there's so many bands that I talk to that are just like, we're gonna do Canada. We're gonna
Yeah.
grow our band. We're gonna grow our audience,
Yeah.
and we're gonna make it happen here. Is there any places specifically you guys are looking to play?
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Yeah, we'd like to make
Yeah.
our way out
We-
west.
there's so many people who are just like, Astral Witch, we need you in Vancouver. Like, we get messages like at least monthly. Like, when are you guys coming out here? From all different kinds of
Really?
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at the Bandcamp and like what our sales and plays are, it's like definitely Western Canada, some Eastern Canada, the States, like weird places like South America, a lot of Germany, a lot of Japan, things like
Cool.
that. So I'm like, okay, we're spread across the globe.
Love to
Where are
make
we
it
gonna
to
go?
Yeah,
Japan.
I'd like to go to Japan.
Yeah, let's go to
Yeah.
Japan.
So I think we're
We
gonna
sold
go to
like 4
Japan,
CDs
guys.
there. Maybe we could
Yeah.
tour Japan.
Yeah. Have you folks played outside of Ontario?
Yes.
Montreal.
Montreal.
But
yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
Really.
with Mercedes from Kitty. She was on bass for
cool.
that show. Yeah. Oh God, and we did talk about band anecdote. So we drove to, and I don't know how Jen got out of this. I was just talking about it the other night. We drove to Montreal. We played the gig, and Mercedes was like, "Yeah, let's drive back." She lives in London. We're in like Hamilton area, I think, at the time. And so we decided to single shot it all the way back. Mercedes and I took turns driving, and Jen got somehow
No, because
lucky.
Mercedes loves driving. I offered, and she loves driving. It honestly,
That's
ask
what she
her.
said.
Yeah,
And then you,
Her name is Mercedes.
exactly right. It makes sense.
these two fell asleep while I was driving. It's like 5 a.m. Like, somebody's got to keep the driver
no.
awake. Somebody's got to keep me awake.
What were you playing? Do you remember anything to try and keep you awake?
Oh gosh, what was I playing? What did I have in the CD player at the time? I had something cranked.
Can I guess?
Yeah, I know. We could probably guess
was it
one of
Chris
3
Cornell
songs.
solo?
Yeah. It was probably Chris Cornell's solo album because at
That's
that
funny.
time I was obsessed with
Sure,
it.
sure. I have this weird obsession of like this fear of falling asleep at the wheel.
Oh, I know.
I've never come close, but it's just like this weird.
What
like,
if you're sleeping and you don't know it?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you know what I mean. So like anytime that thought comes in my head, I put on this like obnoxious EDM. I don't even know if I like it. I'm just
yeah?
like, and it's just this.
Windows down.
Good idea.
Yeah, yeah. If it's cold out, windows down.
Yep.
If it's warm, you friggin' AC blasting. It's just something to make you uncomfortable.
Right.
To Make sure
Yeah.
they don't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Exactly. You want to be very, very uncomfortable for that drive, and as many stops as what are those places called?
En routes.
Yeah.
En routes.
Yeah.
Oh, the en routes.
They gouge you. They gouge you. I was
gouge
having a
you.
discussion the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone was like, "I love BK," and I'm like, "You haven't been to an en route in like Sarnia when they're charging you $7 a patty."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
And you don't talk to a
So
person now either, right? It's all automated on the
It's
thing
exactly
now.
it, yeah.
I was just in one,
crazy.
yeah.
Oh no way.
It's weird how everything is becoming automated, AI generated, right?
Yeah.
You're seeing, I don't know, I'm seeing more artwork being by bands being generated by AI. I
Yeah.
don't know if you're seeing this.
Yeah.
There's all this,
This
like,
is awful.
yeah, this technology.
Fucking scabs.
I recently heard about a thing where there's like an AI cryptid though. That's like I forget the name of it, but they kept this like weird monster kept showing up in a lot of AI generated art.
weird.
So maybe AI could be haunted
Ooh,
too.
that's kinda
Maybe
cool.
yeah. You know.
That sounds
We should
like a metal
do something.
band in itself.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
someone's got some concept record out there already.
Yeah.
Where
We're gonna
they're-
put it in the lyrics.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I don't know. To me,
Well-
it kind of sounds like how you open up a portal and to bad things. So maybe we
True.
well, maybe open it up. don't
Yeah,
know.
I was just gonna say because
Yeah.
like AI is being generated left and right. I don't know if you've even heard of like there's an AI rapper that's been made.
I have
Came
heard
and
about it,
came
yeah.
and left pretty quickly. So it's only a matter of time where
Wasn't
I feel
there a
like,
dispute with his record label or something?
yeah,
Like-
there was because he's an AI rapper. He was dropping profanity
Yeah.
and the N bomb specifically,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
people are like, you can't make a robot do that.
No.
Like it's
Yeah.
you know,
They're
yeah.
like, well, we didn't make the robot do. The robot did it. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
So
like, well,
they canceled them pretty quickly. But my question is, it's only a matter of time before we get AI metal bands.
Oh my God.
You know what?
Tech death.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, tech.
Totally.
And we got already bands like Rings of Saturn that are already there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna get AI generated bands. What do you think's gonna happen when that happens? Do you think they're gonna be? Would you go see an AI band?
Okay. Side note: has anybody ever heard of the band Captured by Robots?
I don't think so.
Okay, this guy builds robots.
Okay, yes, I've seen footage of it. I didn't know
Yeah.
the name of it. Like, and he's got they like
They play-
tremolo.
Oh,
yeah.
But it's like
I
at,
did see
like
that. Yeah, yeah.
crazy RPMs.
Like, it's wild.
Yeah.
And his whole gimmick is he's been captured by robots, and they force him to like maintain them so they could go to gigs and play.
That's
Wild.
funny.
But I saw him. I think it was probably almost 15 years ago. I think it was at the Underground in Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a long time ago. He played
Wow.
in Hamilton, and now like. That was like predicting this whole scenario. So maybe that's what we're going to be slaves as musicians to the AI. That's it. They're going to force us to play or force to tune them up so they can get on stage.
That's right. And then we'll pay to see them. It'll be a subscription based something because it's always subscription based, right?
Yep.
I feel like
Brought to you by
Stoner
OnlyFans.
Doom might be safe though, because I don't think AI can smoke weed.
There
yet,
you
so
go.
I think-
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
the
I think
human
this
element to it,
genre
right?
will be
They would
safe.
attempt, and it would
Yeah.
just sound like garbage, right?
Yeah. Bunch of stoner robots.
It'll sound like the demos I do on GarageBand, where it's all clicked to
Yeah,
a
yeah.
metronome with electronic drums.
The MIDI.
It'll be that version of Doom.
You know how sometimes in like let's say like the black metal genre specifically, how people like like the old school stuff more so than the new school stuff. Do you think that'll have like it'll be like that where like, oh, you listen to AI metal, like
Yeah, I could
no, that's not my.
totally see that.
And then like the younger folks are like, yeah, no, I love computer generated metal. It's like what I grew up on, and we're going like,
God.
no,
Oh, no
haven't
doubt.
you heard of Sabbath or anything?
Yes. Oh, this is gonna be awful.
I think this is where we're headed. I think so.
I don't want to say that will happen, but I can see that happening.
Right?
Yeah.
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 That's
Unfortunately.
Scary. Now we're all scared.
Until
Yeah.
then, check out Astral Witch. All right, let's segue into some banecdotes. So banecdotes in the show here, I've had Alyssa on. It's just some of the wildest stories you have from playing in a band, being in a band, whether it's just at a show, on the road, at a gas station, in the recording studio, any sort of inside jokes that you folks have that you guys can always just let the world in on.
Ooh, who wants to
Oh
go?
man, come back to me.
Sure.
I'm sure John's got a couple in his greasy back pocket.
Yeah, I would probably say most of mine are probably with Pantychrist, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild shows. A lot of them I can't remember, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I do remember one, though, in, I think it was in Brantford. We were at a show. It was a big warehouse. And we're playing, and Danielle, the singer, was, off singing somewhere like she normally does. And after we were done, this guy comes up and to me and Danielle, and he has just blood gushing out of his head.
Okay.
And he's like, "Thank you so much." Like, he's just like so thankful. Blood everywhere. I'm like, oh damn, like what happened here? So I guess Danielle had him in a headlock. It was just swinging him around everywhere, and there's like a giant pole right in front of the stage, and she just smacked his head right into the pole, and he just loved it. Like, he
Of
thought it was
course.
so cool.
Isn't that funny?
It's like, well, thank God, right, that he loved that. Could have been bad.
Oh my god.
It's like I've always seen that. Like, I've seen footage of just like, someone running up and like fighting the vocalist and being like, that was awesome. Like, we had a good time together.
right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you're like, what is going on? This doesn't look safe at all.
Acquired brain injuries for all.
Yeah.
Yay. That's awesome.
Yeah, one of those bands you could just get away with doing anything.
Oh, Pantychrist. Like even, I remember I was probably like 14 or 15 the first time I saw Pantychrist. And at the Corktown, Non-Passive Resistance had opened, and somebody else, maybe Gunnar Hansen or something. But it was just so crazy. And this was back when the Corktown is a venue that we forgot to mention.
Sure, yeah. I'm not familiar with.
So it's South End Hamilton, Irish pub
Okay.
kind of vibe. It's an old building in Hamilton. But back in the day, and we're talking, this is almost 20 years ago, it was a shithole. Like, it was bad. Talk about your dive bar.
Sure.
There was like raw sewage that would run across the floor. And I remember like Pantychrist on stage, and just like Danielle was just like, you guys fucking stink, and just like the band going on, and a bunch of punks just slipping around in raw sewage. I don't know why this is always a theme, but god damn, I love Pantychrist.
Oh, damn.
I don't know if we ever played at Corktown.
Yeah, we did.
Did
Oh, with
Ty filled in.
Oh, without me, because I played there I was in a short-lived rock band in Hamilton called John and His Friends, but not the most.
Which was awesome.
Not the most committed band though.
I have the
remember
tape.
You do have a 4-song demo out there. You find it, but anyway, that band doesn't exist anymore. We played one gig at the Corktown. I booked all those shows, and I don't think it was a very good show, but. 2 members of the band threw up before we played, like, because we had gotten into it in the parking lot a little bit before, and like. Apparently, like, there's on Facebook, I was horrified to find out, like, months later, someone had filmed the entire thing and posted it.
Oh, damn.
And so I just remember watching it. No, like, the whole show, like,
okay.
and it was just, like, horrific. It's, like, one of those things. I hope it doesn't exist anymore. Someone tried to find it recently and they couldn't, but I was just like,
Check out the footage
Whoa.
right
Yeah.
here.
if you find it, hard to you, but it's just, like, these are 4 drunk dudes, like, trying the best they can to hold it together, but, like, like the 2 people, I'm not going to spoil anything or name names, but you can definitely tell who threw up before we played. And then the rest of us threw up after we played too.
Right.
So it was just a total wash. The Corktown is a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
It's a really big
Sounds like
stage.
it.
But it's
like,
giant there.
It's
so you could
huge,
pack in
yeah,
A lot
it's
of
a
people.
cage.
And they
like-
actually have an upstairs
Yes,
venue.
I remember
I
seeing
didn't know
shows
that.
upstairs. I think they're starting again.
Oh, are they starting
yeah,
again?
that's
I
what
was just
heard.
about to ask what's being done with that building.
Yeah.
They're starting back up
Yeah, I
again?
believe so.
I saw there was a show there a couple of weeks. I
Yeah.
think that some Toronto bands.
I
were
saw some
playing on.
pictures of them doing some
or
stuff
The guys
upstairs.
that are actually located a couple portables down, I think they played that venue. So Guy, and he's in a band. I think he plays drums for that band, Pillars of Eternity, down
That's
tribute
right.
band.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they played
Mm.
Corktown a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm,
So they're like gigs are happening.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at Hamilton, it's like Corktown, Casbah, Doors, New Absinthe, which is actually the old Absinthe, should be opening soon.
Oh,
That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how that
Yeah.
is.
I'm excited for
Is
that.
the new Absinthe
And
in a
Kilburn.
new location, or is it just the
It's
same?
at the old
It's at
location.
the old
So-
location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the Absinthe was in a place before it was in. Yeah. See, I'm not really familiar with Hamilton, but I've been to both Absinthes.
Yeah.
I've been to the old one, and then they moved it to the other place,
Yeah, which was much bigger.
which was bigger. They had an
Yeah.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But now they're moving back.
Yeah.
So I really liked the old Absinthe. The
I do
only thing
too.
I didn't like is when you're watching the goddamn band, there's a huge
Pole. There's
Oh,
a pole
yeah,
right in the
yeah,
middle
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
right in the middle. It's awful. But I remember Racula opened up for White Cowbell. Ooh, that was the night that I broke my rib.
Oh wow.
Yes. So White Cowbell, Oklahoma, fantastic band. They have a chainsaw on stage, and they come out and they like chainsaw stuff, and they're wild, like southern country kind of vibes, rock
Yeah.
and roll. But they always were accompanied by the Jaeger girls, the Jaegerettes. So they'd have these girls come out with trays full of Jaeger.
Are these officially licensed Jaeger?
Yes.
Jaeger? Oh, that's awesome.
So they'd give you Jaeger swag, and they would pour Jaeger down your throat all night long. Well, this is the night that I think I spent the night on Juliana's floor. I woke up the next morning. I was like, oh my God, what happened? I went to the hospital. Like, yeah, you fractured your rib. I'm like, I don't remember how.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you don't remember exactly how you fractured it, eh?
I think a friend of mine came up to me and like kind of we were dancing and she like smashed me into the bar, but I don't
Oh.
exactly remember
Yeah.
because Wendy Wolf too. I don't. She used to be on CHCH. She was one of the hosts there. She was bartending that night. I remember she was such a bitch. She knows she's a bitch. It's fine. I
If
can
you're
swear on
listening,
this,
that's
right?
how
Oh yeah,
Alyssa
you can
feels.
swear on this.
Okay, awesome. But the bar was like, I'm short. I'm like just over 5'2", and it's like rib height.
Okay.
So somebody comes, slams you in.
Right.
That would make sense.
Oof.
Anyway.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
Cracked ribs.
Wow.
I've played
Hardcore.
that old Absinthe too in like a high school band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What band was that?
I played in a band. I don't even remember the band name. I played bass in it, and I'm not even much of a bass player. So you know what I mean? Like
One of those.
they were like, "We
Classic.
need a bassist," and I was like, "I know how to play the bass. It's like you just do it with your fingers, right?"
I'm sure there's a Squire
Yeah,
or something laying
yeah.
around.
I don't have an amp. I'm just gonna go
Plug into
DI,
one.
right?
Combo,
Breakdowns
like,
and
yeah.
stuff. Like it was easy to play. I remember that, but like I can't even. The name is slipping me. I can't even think of the band name right
Oh, it
now.
was slipping me.
Yeah, it's a good time. Do you guys have any pre-show rituals before you goes on stage or anything?
Who wants to share whatever?
I'm usually always late. That's
Yeah.
because I live in Toronto now, and that's kind of my vibe. Is like I'm always.
Oh,
late.
so you made the trip today?
Yeah, but
Oh,
it's
wow!
like-
Thank you.
it doesn't matter how early or how well I try to plan the trip to get here on time. I'm always at least 10 minutes late. It doesn't matter.
It is what it is. It's that traffic.
It's that
Yeah.
traffic.
John's
I took the
usually
407
late.
today too.
Oh wow. Okay.
Spend money to make money. You know what I'm saying?
Usually our pre-show ritual involves some kind of like, okay, thank you, Satan, our Father, for letting us commit sins all the time and encouraging us to do so. And we want to open the portal that we're always talking about
Right.
and bring forth the demons with us. So it's usually something like that.
Yeah, I generated it or not.
Yeah.
We'll take either.
Yeah,
any
like-
kind we can get.
Yeah, we'll take any kind of portal.
Any
you
sort
can
of portal.
open.
Yeah.
It's all
I just want to go
good.
somewhere.
Just something, somewhere cool. And then usually a shot of whiskey at least afterwards.
After, yeah, that's
Yeah.
an after thing. I think the before is just like make sure we have what we need
Hydration,
for the stage.
board set up.
Mhm.
Okay. Are we going to be electrocuted this time? All right. I need the
Probably, yeah.
microphone cover. Yeah.
But I started thinking because I do like landscape construction and stuff, and I have those boots that have like the orange, the circle on them or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think if you wore like those kind of steel-toed like CSA boots, you would get electrocuted from the microphone, or would you be grounded?
We can
Well-
find out.
Yeah, we could try this out.
Next time, play the doors. I'll remember that.
The thing about the way that the current works, though, I mean, any kind of rubber sole would have the same effect, and most shoes do have some kind of
That's
rubber
true,
sole.
yeah.
So, but anecdote time. I was playing this bar at it was on James Street North called the Academica, and they had this huge. I might have told this one last time. Forgive me if I have, but it's my electrocution story.
It's all good.
It's a bunch of stoners listening to this anyway. Oh yeah, this sounds familiar. Okay, cool. It had this plane, this like ultralight hanging from the ceiling, like suspended from the ceiling at this venue, the Portuguese club. Anyway, I go up to the microphone, check, test the guitar, immediately shocked through my lips so bad that the lights flicker, smoke coming out of my body. And I literally, check this out. That's a scar right there, that white spot.
Yeah.
That's a scar from where the electrical current came out of my body. From
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's not something to mess around with.
That's metal. You've been
Wow.
electrocuted.
Like badly. Yeah.
This is real.
Yeah.
Wow. Not too many people could say that.
I know.
Ooh, that's zappy.
Perfect.
Now, when you guys are on the road, is there any go-to gas station snack you go to? Anything you gravitate when you guys are pulled over?
What's mine?
Oh,
Meat
it's
sticks.
Meat sticks.
It's absolutely meat
Meat
sticks.
sticks.
My favorite kind is a Schneider's European. If I can get the hot brand, that's great. But just like the driest dehydrated meat stick I can get.
Stuff that's like animal feed.
Yeah,
Basically.
basically.
It's so tough.
Like it's like leather. Yeah, I love it. What about you guys?
Chips.
Monster.
I'm just chips.
I've been trying to get endorsed low-key by Monster for my entire adult life,
Yeah.
and no matter how much I post about it, they're just like,
So, Monster, we know you're watching right
yeah,
now.
expand your musical horizons. It doesn't need to be the Five Finger Death Punch and EDM bands. You could expand your musical horizons a little bit.
Do you think it's because Doom is like wow, so slow and they need like a
Maybe that's it, but I don't know.
But we're turning that narrative around.
Switch
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
Let's
Monster?
switch. Also, bring back Dragon Tea. What are you doing?
Dragon tea. Tea for what's
It was just so Monster teases every year they bring back for a couple months Dragon Tea, which is a non-carbonated
Okay.
tea-based
Ooh.
monster that only has like 9 grams of sugar, which is really low for an energy drink. But
Yeah.
it's my favorite thing in the goddamn
Yeah,
world,
so-
and they always take it away.
Oh,
They'll bring it back
that's
though.
terrible.
It's just like you were mentioning chips. They always take away ketchup Doritos.
Don't get me started.
Oh,
on the
no,
ketchup.
I know
Oh,
those
they're
are-
so
those are
good.
so
They're so good.
They're
Yeah,
so
and now
good.
everywhere I go, I'm like, where are they?
They're
Like,
limited. They only come like a
Limited.
certain time of year.
And I
That
heard
sucks.
a dirty rumor. Well, I saw some Doritos like propaganda that was like, once they're gone now. So I'm like,
I should have stocked up. I didn't
should have
know.
bought those Costco
Damn
bags.
it.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, those are so good.
yeah.
But the sweet and spicy ketchup Miss Vicks or Miss
Ooh, I don't know if I've tried that.
They're pretty good. If you see them,
try
grab a
one.
bag.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
They're
I wanna try
nice.
those.
Big
I love
recommend.
chips.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right on.
Big recommend if you can find them.
All right, so let's put you in a hypothetical. You guys are as big as Metallica. You guys are selling out arenas. You guys are huge. What is the rock star dream rider? What's waiting in the green room there for you? There's Schneider's meat sticks.
Oh yes.
There is ketchup Doritos.
Discontinued monster flavors.
Discontinued
imported
monster
from Eastern
flavors.
Europe.
Is there any sort of vibe going on? What color couches you got going on?
Oh, emerald
What's the
green.
lighting?
Paisley.
Oh.
Are we gonna fight about this?
Emerald green and paisley curtains and a bunch of other fantastical
Sure.
kind of
Yeah.
I
What
could
kind of
totally see that.
incense is burning?
Neg Champa.
Nick Champ.
Neg
yeah.
Champa?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
our go-to.
Lots of
scent.
PBR.
Lots of PBR. Lots of 40 Creek whiskey because that's my
Mhm.
brand.
Mine too.
Absolutely.
I don't want to sound lame, but I've been drinking the Cottage Springs vodka water box because it's
Oh.
it
Yeah.
mitigates the hangovers very well.
Yeah, for
I
sure. No
must
sugar.
say. And the older I get, the more the beer hurts the stomach. So it's nice to have a little.
Oh,
break
also,
from
I
it.
just water. I drink a lot of water. Love water. Oh, so good. Fiji water.
Whoa.
Because that's something I would
Whoa,
never
I
ever
didn't know that.
buy.
There
that's
you go.
good.
I would never ever buy
You have a
it. but
water
it's
cooler full of Fiji.
Yeah.
Like the bottle is the square Fiji. You know how it is, like the water cooler.
It's like, yeah, that's my ultimate fantasy.
Is there anything more like that's the most eccentric you're getting with this, eh?
We're
You're
so
like
boring.
Wow.
Fiji
Oh,
water. You have the
I-
biggest budget in the world.
Fiji water. Oh, you know what?
That's
Probably
such a
like
skid dream.
I know. Like,
All the
I'm
Fiji
poor.
water you can drink.
I'm poor. Can I have the volcano water now, please, sir? Just as a treat. Just as a treat. Obviously, all of the guitars that we could ever think of back there to choose from, to play, to go on stage with, and amps, and just Neg Champa burning, weed for you guys. I don't smoke a ton of weed.
I
so-
want like a good
smoke weed.
I really at this point in my life I'm pretty sick of all fast food. I still eat it all the time, but like just a nice like chicken parm sandwich or something.
Do you go anywhere
No.
for specific?
No, they're usually all pretty good.
Yeah.
Not a gas station one.
Right.
But like
You gotta stay
anything
away from those.
above a gas station and nothing too fancy. But yeah. I don't know.
John used to work at this chicken place in Hamilton, and they had this amazing. I won't say the name if you don't want me to.
Oh, yeah, please don't. There's a labor dispute about it.
Okay.
I won.
Did you win?
Yeah, I won.
Hell yeah.
You can take if you have
Oh, congrats.
if you have enough proof
Round of
of
applause.
your boss fucking you around, and you have all the minutes and all your saved conversations and the schedules and the amount they didn't pay for, you can win a labor dispute. It just takes a really long time.
Just do it. There's a lot of time involved, but just do it.
Just do
Just
it.
do it, yeah.
It was
Just
over
do
like
that.
$350 too. It was such a fuck you amount of money. Like,
I did that once for a bar that I worked at too. They were shorting me hours and I won too.
There you go.
But there was a sandwich. Oh, this
blackened
Chicken
chicken
roast.
on naan.
Yes,
That's
that's
the one.
it. Was it goat cheese or feta? No, I can't remember. Anyway,
it was
I want.
feta.
I have a great food memory. Obviously,
Nice.
I'm a foodie. So I'm like, I miss this sandwich, and if I could have it into my life, it would complete
So
me.
your backstage dream is just to have me have to cook.
Poor John.
DIY band, right?
Yeah.
We're cutting corners everywhere.
And
John, you're cooking tonight.
It's just like I want a panini press.
get all this, just set it up.
That's great. Now, I've only got one more question here for you. It's a big one, but I'll need your top 5 all-time favorite bands. If you can't give me 5, give me 3. If you can't give me your all-time favorite bands, you just give me what you're listening to right now. Maybe you could give me what you're listening to because you gave me your top 5 last time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so.
I think I did as well, and it was probably something very grunge
It was
centered.
grunge. I remember
Oh,
very grunge was
for
in it.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Alice in Chains being my
Yeah,
favorite.
it was Alice in
Um,
Chains and Chris Cornell.
Yes, and probably Mark Lanigan. I think maybe
I
we
think you
talked
mentioned
before he
Mark, yeah, yeah.
passed. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm currently listening to right now, I always have a good mix of like some 70s, 80s, like classic rock that I'm always going through. But for new music, Ox, like I said, I love their album. Eye of Doom is also fantastic. There's this great new band that came out, which John was talking about. There's John clones everywhere. So tall dude, long kind of
yeah, what are they
curly
called?
hair. Tumble.
Tumble, yeah,
Tumble.
they're really good.
Yeah, so I'm really into them right now.
Cool.
Fantastic band. But yeah, those are probably my 3. Eye of Doom from Vancouver area.
Oh, cool.
They're releasing a new album the end of this year, I think. So they got a teaser out
Doom's
right now.
big out in Vancouver, like you were saying. Eh? That's
Yes.
just really big.
They've been on the weed a lot longer.
Yeah, I
Yeah, that's
suppose so, eh?
true.
They're
Key.
and
They're-
the mountains are nice. They're all close
Yeah,
to
you gotta
nature.
That's
It's
it.
just a vibe out
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I don't know. I like honestly, Iron Maiden's probably my favorite band. of all
Nice.
time.
Iron Maiden, yeah.
It's hard to like. I don't know. I've loved them ever since I was a kid. Downloading their entire discography one song at a time off LimeWire and like drawing the album covers and burning the CDs and all that stuff. They've always been my favorite. And then Black Sabbath, and then everything else just kind of rotates. And the bottom 3 there,
Sure.
I just switch out a lot of stuff. Been really digging a lot of prog lately, like ELP and Yes and stuff like that. But
There you go.
I pull it from a lot of wells. So try to keep it rotating. I'm trying to think of like a good contemporary thing I like, but because usually there's one pop song that is I listen to the radio a lot at work, and there's
Right.
usually one pop song that I like, but not right now. There's
Nothing standing
nothing
out.
right home about
Sure,
right now. No.
sure.
Oh, that one Izzo song. There was the one newer Izzo song I kind of liked, but that's it.
Shout out to Lizzo.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I don't know. I'm a big nerd.
Yes, you are. I know who number 1
I
is.
guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Frank Zappa.
Nick
well,
Cave.
that's okay. Yeah, I have the Frank Zappa tape in my truck right now. That is what I was listening to last.
Is
so
it
good
because
job.
it's stuck in your tape player?
No, I actually got it out. I got it out.
It was stuck
Then
though,
you put it
eh?
back
It was stuck, yes, but I put it back in.
That's great.
Oh my god.
And yeah, you're right, Nick Cave. I'm totally obsessed with Nick Cave. It's pretty much all I listen to right now.
Yeah.
And I'm also still obsessed with the first Captain Beyond album.
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
Constantly
Oh, that's a good one,
making
yeah.
us
Drums
listen
on
to
that
it.
album.
That's great. That's great. Right on. So, do you guys want to plug some of the social medias where people can reach you at?
Yeah.
Can I plug a different podcast while I'm here?
Absolutely.
I-
Plug
I-
everything away.
When I lived in Sault Ste. Marie, I lived there for 4 or 5 years. I played in a band with a couple dudes up there called Late and Loud. Not a band anymore. But we do a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. That they're
Oh,
called-
Dungeons and
called-
Dragons. We're not over yet, folks. I didn't know you liked Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm a huge fucking nerd. It's not a big secret or anything.
Yeah, you're all
but
nerds.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Check out Late and Legends if you want to hear what three roughly 30-year-old men who used to play in a band together sound like playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, do you two play Dungeons? Like, are you
I
familiar?
want
or-
to.
I haven't played D&D in years, but I
No.
used to.
Okay,
yes.
yeah, you guys gonna have to start a campaign up.
I know. I'm always talking about
John's
that.
gonna have to be the DM.
I don't know if I'm qualified to DM though.
Oh,
I
okay.
much,
You
I
know
much
who we
like
get?
playing a lot more.
Alec from Snakes.
Oh yeah.
He could totally be the DM. He lives a couple doors down from me in Haggers Vegas.
There you go.
So,
It would be cool. Now I'm just thinking this off the top of my dome. An Astral Witch campaign.
Oh
The
my
three of
God.
you have to like traverse through a world, and like maybe you all are bards,
Yeah.
or something like that. Like,
Yeah, I like
And like
this.
we have to come across portals. Like, what do we got to roll
there
to like
you
make
go.
it
Yeah,
close
yeah.
it?
Sounds like we're just writing a concept album though. That's like another thing is
But
We're
the album
fresh.
comes with the campaign.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's what 3 Inches of Blood did for Fire Up the Blaze. I'm pretty sure that album's based on their Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Black Dahlia Murder did that too. They did, I think I don't know if it's their last record, but the concept record, and there's like a campaign comes with dice and everything.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Good for them.
It's good because dice is expensive.
Right?
God.
How many sides?
You guys speaking of dice, I've been watching on TikTok. There's this guy who rolls dice to make a sandwich. So he rolls a dice for his bread. He rolls a dice for his main, his cheese. It's
Like
hilarious.
condiments?
And sometimes it's a wild sandwich. Sometimes you're like, oh, it's a good sandwich. But it's different every time. And I'm like, well, I was watching one this morning. My wife's like, what are you watching? And I'm like, it is the nerdiest, but most coolest shit ever. It's just this guy eating a sandwich based off dice rolls. It's just like, what are you talking about? We're done.
Yeah. Your wife's just like, Phil, you're a nerd.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's great.
Oh.
Now, is there any more anecdotes you guys want to share before we end, or?
Oh, we should plug our stuff to you.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Instagram. So you can find
Yeah, I didn't mean to railroad
Astral
that.
Witch. Astral Witch Band on the Instagram, facebook.com/Astral Witch Band. I believe we have a Twitter, which Jen probably manages, something like
I've
that.
been starting to. Yes, we'll get the Twitter back up
Yeah,
and going
Astral
again.
Witch. Though
Yeah.
we're up there, you can find us. We're out.
No
We're out
Tik-
and about.
No TikTok yet, but maybe we get on there.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know, we'll see.
TikTok's a strange world.
Yeah.
I haven't quite ventured into it yet, but it's.
I've lost my partner to it.
Oh,
We don't see each other anymore. She's in TikTok.
She's,
Yeah. She's been
She's
talk about the
walked
portal.
through the TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, the portal.
Yeah,
She's in
that
there.
might be the portal.
that is the portal.
That's right.
Right on, right on. Well, we'll end it there then, folks. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Phil.
Thank
You're the best.
you.
We love
Yeah,
being
thanks,
here,
Phil.
so
Oh,
that's
yeah.
great.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Cheers.
Take it easy.